Gensel on the right. He scores! Shane Gensel!
Hundley holds, steps up. Hundley sacks T.J. Watt. NFL history. Watt has tied Michael Strahan's single-season record. Oh, no.
In the air to right. This is deep. And he did it again. Jack Sawinski wins it for the Pirates. 3 home runs in a game.
Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline. Whoa, Smoking Jim's spraying whatever drink he has. He doesn't have the 2-liter ginger ale.
I forgot it in my car. I just remembered that. I forgot it in my car.
We'll hold fans.
You remember
Smoking
that you
Jim, you could go to your car.
I'm gonna go.
We may
could
never
go.
see him again.
Well, that's all right. He's here. Batman is gone.
His
All right,
microphone cord doesn't stretch that.
we're in the
Here it is. I forgot I brought it in.
little side note before we do the intro. We talked about Smoking Jim used to always say, I'm an honest man. I said not.
I forgot.
And he brought it in. All right, thank you for watching Pittsburgh Sportsline, the BPTV studio right in the Municipal Building in Bethel Park. We appreciate you. And thank all of you for watching the Facebook live streaming. We appreciate that. And on Pittsburgh Sportsline channel, we're up to what, Nick, 131?
Yeah.
So we appreciate the new likes on there. We started with 0, so we're very proud of that. And if you can, give us a like on that page and subscribe. That's Pittsburgh Sportsline channel on YouTube. Very easy. If not, just keep watching us because you know we got sports entertainment and extra stuff that we always put in here. So I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. Smoking Jim Frazier. Chip Hayner alternates with Jim Ellenbogen every week. This is his week. And you know what he might talk about, but you never know what's truly on his mind. And I had to bring that up. Welcome back, Chip. Nick VIP Callis, a.k.a. only Harry Callis on 93.7 The Fan. And we give him credit there. And thanks all of you for watching us on Comcast 21. Nick, I understand that now. And only in Bethel Park. They changed that. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin, Cranberry, Wexford, Greater Pittsburgh area, and everywhere else that you get Verizon. So we appreciate you on that. And thanks for the Facebook likes. We're holding steady at 7,014. So we made the 7K. Even though on Facebook, Nick, I don't know the algorithms and stuff. You know that more than me because he's not even 25 yet. Wow. I just turned 67 on my real birthday.
Look good. Look good.
June 30th. And I want to shout out Emilio Azazu Sports Sauna and Salon. Had my hair cut there today, and Emilio does a great job. Then I meet his son, 11-year-old Enzo, and he's working. He's working for his dad. Like, we don't know what Smoking Jim does. Enzo's 11 years old, and he comes up to me. I barely get to introduce myself, but I got Alan Levine, the talking machine. He goes, nice to meet you. Would you like a coffee? Wow. So I go, Enzo, I don't like coffee, but I had my green tea, and I'm good.
Wow.
So then,
a little espresso.
yeah, well, no. And so then I go, I want to get you in a picture. And Emilio said, Al, that's really nice of you. And I go, where do you want to take it, Enzo? So the entranceway has a red carpet and a mirror. Enzo goes, we're going to the red carpet.
That's what's up.
So we posted the pictures on Facebook,
Awesome.
got the hair care. And when I told Enzo I was getting a haircut, when I got the haircut, I go, how's it look? He goes, good. I go, a friend of mine, co-host, got me E equals MC squared, and he knew that was Einstein.
Really?
So I go, I'm thinking to myself under my breath, wow, he's smarter than Smoking Jim. So now I go, I just wore his shirt a couple days ago, and he gave it to me because he said I look like Einstein. And I said, Chip said, do you mind? I said, no, that's a compliment. So Enzo gave me the knuckles, said, that is. So Enzo's a good guy, and just wanted to get that out there. And
The theory of relativity.
amen. Don't explain it to Smoking Jim because he's okey doking something he don't know. But we got to do a promo, and we got, I don't even know how to introduce him. Michael Mariano, his aunt and uncle, Peggy and Nick in Rochester, they know who he is. And Peggy and Nick, I have him under control because I told him I know his mother, Brandy. So if he acts up, I'm not going to Johnny. I'm going to Brandy. So he's going to do the promo here. And it's a sad promo. Albert Tripp Minu needs new lungs. And it's just terrible. He's suffering from COPD, pulmonary fibrosis, Sjogren's syndrome. Tripp is unable to work. He's been a welder for years. So imagine, he lost his career, he lost his health care, he's in bad shape, he's dying because of the effects of this disease. So any money we can raise, there's a benefit they're having, and I'll get to that in a minute, that will help their financial condition, and his wife Jamie and his sister-in-law Scoops is her nickname, and she calls me Machine like Smoking Jim, and then her husband Lynn. So I appreciate them. They're all in Washington County, and I know friends out there. So they're having an event Saturday. I'm going there. Unlike Smoking Jim, he's not going to promise going, but I'm going there. $15 at the door. He don't have it. 735 Jefferson Avenue, Washington, PA 15301, July 29th, Saturday, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. $15 at the door. Food, pop, and water included. For all you drinkers like Smoking Jim, BYOB, ginger ale is welcome. They're going to have a DJ. Smoking Jim learned last week what a Chinese auction is. I'm not going to test him because he don't remember.
DJ Fun? Not DJ Fun.
DJ.
Okay.
You know what a DJ is?
Yeah.
You sure? Could you tell the folks?
Well, I heard of one DJ called DJ Fun. I heard he's pretty good.
We don't know him.
Okay.
You have to go to find out. And then they have 50-50 tickets, and Smoking Jim knows how that works. Send monetary donations. I'm not going to give the routing numbers and account numbers because I don't think you're all writing it down. Just call Washington Financial Bank, 98 East Wiley Avenue, right in downtown Washington, 15301. Their phone number is, call them there to help Albert Tripp Minu. They have an account there, and it's called 724-225-9100. And for all other donations, please call Jamie Minu at 724-554-9228. And we're going to keep promoting to get him money because this is a one-time event, but we're going to do it every week because he is in bad health and he could die because he needs new lungs. So thank you very much for listening to this. And if you got $1, just donate $1. I'm going to try to squeeze Jim for $1, so because he ain't going to show up. All right, we got our promos coming up now. And Johnny Mariano, the dad of Michael, is in the control room with his cousin Marco. Thank you. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Strikers. I worked there for 36 years. My former union, CWA PPMWS 14842, Pittsburgh Local Mailers Union number 22, is on strike. Even though health care benefits were secured for workers by the union, Post-Gazette management cut them out without the union's approval and still expected workers to show up without any coverage. Please cancel your Post-Gazette subscriptions online or in print. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Union Strikers. Frank Fanera, owner of Olive Oil's Pizzeria and the Hillcrest Shopping Center on Route 88. Call them at 412-831-1900. Every Tuesday night, Olive Oil's Pizzeria provides the host and the amazing volunteer crew with an XL pepperoni pizza and a full steak hoagie. They are delicious. Olive Oils is proud to support Pittsburgh Sportsline and the volunteers at BPTV. Stay Joey strong. Joey Fabus died at 8 years old of brain cancer known as DIPG. Since then, the family has come together with community members to create the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit. Since being founded, they've raised over $100,000. Go to jfccf.org to learn more about DIPG, to help spread awareness, and to see how else you can support and donate towards the fight against this dreaded brain cancer. Always Be Smiling, a 501c3 designed to help children and families in need of kidney transplants. The B stands for Bennett, whose memory is embedded in this organization by his parents, Kristen and Dean. Despite the challenges he faced in his 16.5 years of life, Bennett always had a smile on his face and spread kindness to everyone he could. Now, Always Be Smiling wants to pass on that kindness. Go to alwaysbesmiling.org to learn more and see how you can support or donate to this organization. The Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. I'm Al Levine, trustee on the board of this great organization. The BPCF focuses on raising money to provide scholarships, grants, endowments, and more. Grant requests are available online from $100 to $5,000. You can also attend fundraisers or donate. Go to bpcf.org to get more information and to stay up to date on upcoming events. The Bethel Park Community Foundation, focusing community resources, building for the future. The Bethel Park Historical Society is a 501c3 that serves Bethel Park. The Historical Society operates out of the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, located at 2600 South Park Road. Look for the red and white trolley right out front. Reginald's Coffee is inside, and I've heard it's the best coffee around. To visit this great historical venue, email historicalsocietybp@gmail.com.
Join the Bethel Park Police Department in support of Kicks for Kids. Its mission is to provide grade school students with a fresh pair of shoes to start off the school year on the right foot. Donations of new youth and adult-sized tennis shoes will be graciously accepted. You can also make a tax-deductible financial donation, 100% of which will go toward the purchase of tennis shoes for students. You can support by calling 412-835-7220, by texting K for K to 44321, or by mailing orders to Life Builders at 2624 Brandis Avenue in South Park. There's also a bin in the lobby of the Bethel Park Police Station for you to make a drop-off. Kicks for Kids. Let's build together and make a difference in the life of a student. And now this message from BPTV.
Alas, poor talking machine. I knew him well. A fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy?
Dave, I'm not dead. I'm still doing Pittsburgh Sportsline every Tuesday night and many other weekly shows on BPTV.
That's great, Al, but then who's this?
I don't know, but we must leave right now. Let's go. Help save Pittsburgh police officer Jeffrey Crawford. Jeffrey is in need of a kidney donation. He's in stage 5 renal failure and he's on dialysis 3 times a week. He needs this kidney ASAP. To contact the UPMC donor registry, call 412-647-4438 or go to livingdonorreg.upmc.com. And to help spread awareness, use the hashtag Bless Jeff on socials. Let's come together to support Pittsburgh policeman Jeffrey Crawford in his time of need. Alex Reed is in need of a kidney. 2 weeks after college graduation, Alex's kidneys failed. A gracious donor gave Alex 7 years of life, but now he needs another kidney. To learn more about becoming a donor for Alex, call 830-285-2140 or go to kidneysolutions.org. Zhang Taekwondo just opened a new location in the South Hills, along with its location in Wexford and its inclusion in the curriculum of Provident Charter School in Troy Hill. Zhang uses Taekwondo to teach its students confidence and self-discipline through physical fitness. Zhang is offering a 4-week special. You get a uniform and lessons for $30. If you mention the Talking Machine, Smokin' Jim, or VIP Nick, they'll give you a further discount. For more information, go to zhangtkd.com or call 724-934-9264. Folks, see this dollar? It's legit. He has a roll of 32 $1 bills. Smokin' Jim, first time ever on Pittsburgh Sportsline. I got $1 to donate to Albert Tripp Menu, and I'm going to do that on Saturday. So Menu family and Sherry, Scoops, and Lynn, I'll be there with the dollar. Marla got us all hooked up to do this. Marla Shatner, a friend of mine, got it all going. Another thing I got to announce is Smokin' Jim.
Oh, my peanuts!
I bought all green tea that I needed. I don't go there but once or twice a year.
Yes, sir.
And me and Chip and I took some peanuts out. Here they go.
Thank you, sir.
We had a peanut party before you came in.
Nobody gets my peanuts.
Well, you got them, buddy. It's on me. And it costs more than $1.
A little light.
Well, we took 3-4 handfuls out. We know you're not a big eater of unsalted peanuts. You want them salty and all that. But with your heart and brain issues, we know you got to watch your salt. And we think he's dropped like 3 ounces, and he's losing some weight. Nick and I had to tape his pants on at the fights.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he's alive. So let's do what's on your line or on your mind, Smokin' Jim Frazier.
Thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. And if you want the green,
Coming at you.
he got the seed.
Look at that. He's all ready for training camp now.
I tell
Yeah.
you, I wanted to ask you guys, because I never did it. I never ran away from home. Did you guys ever run away from home? Because I got a brother. That once a month used to run away from home, and finally his wife divorced him. But I tell you what, Al Levine, the Talking Machine.
Hey, Smokin' Jim, I got to tell you, I lived at Hotel Levine, a mother, 3 sisters, and a dad, a cat, a dog, fish, hamsters. Why would I leave Hotel Levine?
There you go. Well, I tell
It
you
was the
what,
greatest hotel in the city.
always good to see my main man, Mikey. He's making us look good. And I tell you what, Al Levine, the Talking Machine, I was so impressed with Marco's knowledge last week. Nobody told me he was a sports expert. He knew everything.
His dad told us that.
His dad told you.
Well, you was in the room.
Well, you was in a white-only meeting.
No, you were in the room. You were in the room. A little disclaimer before he gets too deep. He's a black man that's not a racist. And he doesn't represent us with what he says. Or the station. So carry on. Here's his opinions right now.
But I tell you what, Al Levine, the Talking Machine, the only good thing I can say about the Pirates is that they probably won't lose 100 games this year. And I tell you what, I don't want to piss off Nick or Chip. I know y'all live and die. But for the first time this week, I've been seeing what I've been seeing for the last 25 years. There's some quitters on that team. And I tell you what.
Name them.
And I tell you what, you don't be that good in April and then you lay down now. The thing the Pirates need, they don't need a skipper. They don't need a new owner. They don't need a new fan base. What they need is a young Pete Rose that will not allow his teammates to quit. And that's what's on my mind.
Thank you, Smoking Jim.
They better teach his teammates how to gamble on baseball and get suspended and barred for life. Exactly.
Don't worry, there's a lot of flaws there. Don't worry.
All right,
We'll get away with that.
thank you, Smoking Jim. You got Chip and Nick excited, so we're going to go to Chip. What's on your mind?
That's on my mind. Well, first things first. And I never have been a huge LeBron James fan. But his young son, Bronny, collapsed on the court yesterday. They said he had a cardiac arrest. Fortunately,
18 years old.
Medical assistance was rendered immediately. It looks like he's going to be okay. Thoughts and prayers to LeBron and his family. Hoping for a speedy recovery. And that's from somebody that's never been a big LeBron James fan, but he's still a father, and that's still his son, and
We understand.
and that's serious.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Smoking Jim and I were having a conversation before we went on the air, and I know that I didn't think he was going to mention anything about it in his segment because that's just the way he is. But we were talking about a couple of things that have to do with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, Jim and I were talking about how deserving Mike Tomlin is going to be of his next contract extension. And about how the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win the AFC North this year.
Who said that?
Jim and I were having a conversation. You guys didn't hear it?
No.
You guys ought to listen a little bit more often.
I don't want to listen to
Mike
that.
Tomlin is up for another contract extension, deservedly so. And Jim is 100% all aboard on that. So I just thought I would, stir it up a little bit. His training camp starts. Practice starts on Thursday. Players got to report tomorrow. And I was hearing something on the radio today, kind of made me chuckle, that they said probably a lot of the players are sneaking into camp tonight so that they don't have to traipse past the media tomorrow. And they can let all the reporters stand out there in 90-degree heat waiting on them while they're sitting there in the air-conditioned rooms. So I like the thought of that. But anyhow, to speak to Jim's, let's say, farcical response to what the Pittsburgh Pirates are, here's my only question. If you see quitters on that team, tell me who they are. I want names. And if you don't have any names, then your comment is completely useless. The Pittsburgh Pirates, right now, they've emptied out all their prospects out of the minor league system. They're getting a chance to play Major League Baseball. What I find most amusing is that how gullible people are on social media. Because, prior to the draft, people put reports out there just to get people fired up. And I hate Bob Nutting and so forth and so on. This Pirates is a clown organization. So now we get reports out that the Pirates are trading anybody on their team that's worthwhile. You know what? I personally don't believe that the Pirates are going to trade anybody, because if you think about the pieces that they have, they could potentially trade. They're not going to get any kind of a return on them.
Thanks,
Carlos
Chip.
Santana, okay, hit 2 home runs last night. Oh, let's hurry up and trade him. Well, who's going to play first base? We don't have anybody else qualified to play first base. I'm not saying that Choi can't, but I'm not confident. Santana's one of the better defensive first basemen in the National League. So. All right, so you're not going to have him at the end of the year.
And he can play it, unlike Smoking Jim.
He's going to help them win games in the next 2 months. I don't think it would be smart to get rid of him. I believe Mitch Keller, there's a stronger likelihood of him getting a contract extension as opposed to getting traded.
Oh, yeah.
And trading David Bednar is another thing that doesn't make sense unless you got a king's ransom for him. And unless you got a couple of major league ready ball players. I mean, guys that are in AAA, that are on the verge of being in the major leagues, or major league ready players that can help the Pirates right now. But think about it. Pirates don't have a closer in waiting. David Bednar, they've got him for 3 more years under control. He's going to help them win baseball games. Getting rid of him, and who's going to close games for them? I mean, right now, there isn't anybody that's stepped up. So, what are the Pirates going to do between now and August 1st, it's anybody's guess. But one thing I'm not going to do is get worked up about it. And I think the last but not least, the funniest comment I see is how people hate Bob Nutting because he's going to trade away all the players. And if anybody knows anything about the way the Pirates do the business, Bob Nutting has absolutely nothing to do with player moves. Those moves are made by the general manager. Just for instance, back when Andrew McCutchen got traded to the San Francisco Giants, Bob Nutting did not want to trade Andrew McCutchen. He did not. He knew what kind of an impact it was going to have on the franchise, on the fans and everything. Yeah. Neil Huntington is the one that convinced him that's what was in the best interest of the team. And he said to Neil Huntington, if that's what you feel is in the best interest of the team, then you do what you think is right. He didn't want to get rid of him. But,
right.
People are going to hate him just because they have to hate somebody, right?
Exactly.
That's what's on my mind.
Sound like you put up a heck of a fight for Andrew McCutchen. What you want.
Again, Smoking Jim's disclaimer. It's his own personal opinion with a mouthful of pizza. So we'll just move on with that.
Peanuts!
And I don't want to be remiss. A lot of action on here. Ralph Williams is watching. Shout out to all the shows he does. Check him out. He said hello. Marla Shatner, a friend of mine's watching. She said, hi, crew. Hi, Marla. Appreciate you making the time to watch us. Then we got Paul Haley's watching us. Greetings, guys, from North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina on Facebook Live.
Nice.
I remember going on a band trip in 2006. I was a chaperone with my daughter in the band, and we went down to Myrtle Beach. So we had a great time there. Excuse me. Pete Kasich's watching. Keith Appenrod, a friend of mine from years ago. He was friends with my dad first. And he's watching the show. He's down in Nashville, Tennessee. He's from around here. He grew up in Brentwood, Chip. So
nice.
right off of Bronzeville Road.
That's where I live right now.
I met his mother, great mother. She'd offer me a grape knee-high.
There you go.
So it's going back old school.
That's a Radar O'Reilly.
Thank you.
That was his favorite drink.
You understand. And I told him it was one of mine. She had a big smile, and she goes, I happen to have a couple here. And they were delicious. And Marla said she's watching on BPTV too. All right.
Let's go.
Great channel. Amy's back. Hi, guys. Welcome back, Chip. And Nick, I like your haircut.
Thank you.
Marla said, wow, 7K. Marla's on here on fire. Great people and great haircut. Al and Nick. Scoops, she says, thank you, Machine, for shouting out about her brother-in-law and sister. And Marla said she'll be there at the thing. She was hoping to meet Smoking Jim. And let's see what else we got. Tim Davis, back on Facebook. Missed you guys. Hey, guys, a Sportsline Hall of Famers involved in a huge fight in Atlanta Thursday night. Go Colleen Chaos Davis.
Win that championship.
She's been a pro. She's going for a belt.
Nice.
You know we got her back 100%. We appreciate it. All right. Marla's going Joey Strong. Marco Rohde's watching us. Chuck Chief McElroy's watching. Whoa, what a surprise. Marco's mother, Diane's watching.
Wow.
We sent her out of the control room. She left. I told her, just get out of here.
She's up at the library.
I know. She's
Getting
watching.
educated.
Pete's saying he buys a bag of peanuts about that size once a month for about 3.80 cents. Well, I got it at Nicholas Coffee and Tea. They got the best roasted, unsalted peanuts. I've been eating them since the early 60s. My dad would bring them home, and I'm carrying on that tradition for my dad. And he's smiling down on us, and he appreciates Smoking Jim liking them.
Yes, sir.
What he appreciates more is Chip and I grabbed a handful or two out. Jamie Menu, hello. Glad we could help up. Randall Bogart, if you believe the PR from Nutting, ask someone who sat on the board. Okay. We got that. All right, we got all that. Sorry, Nick. What's on your mind, Nick VIP Callis?
Well, I didn't get to address this last week, so I'll just address it now. Wiffle ball went wonderful in the National Wiffle Ball League Association tournament.
Hey, way to go. Congratulations to you.
On ESPN Plus, I got to announce, so that was very nice. But if you're interested in something different, I remember talking to my mom and my sister, and they thought it was just like the beer leagues, very relaxed type of wiffle ball game. Now, these guys are legit. Like, they're throwing the ball as hard as they can. The ball is moving all over the place. Smoking was shocked.
Yeah.
I remember showing them the other week how fast these guys pitched. So.
Disclaimer, it's not hard to shock Smoking Jim Flazier about baseball or wiffle ball. He didn't really know what it was.
Nick,
Go ahead.
he'd have a hard time hitting a slow pitch softball.
Well,
I
Nick
believe
has
that.
challenged him. How many years have you challenged him? You've been here 3 years.
Almost 3 years, so the offer's still there. We can play Wii Sports Baseball. We can play a game with squishy baseballs out in the park. You just got to accept the invite, and we'll do it.
Can you
but
tell
it's-
him what hand to put it on the glove?
You're Vita Blue, but not because you're right-handed, so probably your left hand. You want to thumb wrestle me?
Okay, we'll do that after the show.
But
Carry on.
More mainstream sports related. The Pirates, I don't really think that they're quitting, so that's just number one. I do find it interesting though, and I say this sometimes, and I'll say it again about spending money. It's very much a balance because you watch the New York Mets and the San Diego Padres crumbling this year, and the Pirates have beaten both of them in series so far this year. So it's interesting. It really is to see them. I think the Mets are 18.5 games back last time I checked of the NL East lead, and they've spent boatloads of money. So I think that there's just a balance that needs to be cast when you're making a baseball team. Not too much money. There have been so many teams over the history of Major League Baseball that have spent a lot of money just to retain good named players, and then those players end up getting exposed because they've been overpaid. They were just big names and they were on a decline, like Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer, for example, on the Mets. So I really think that I know a lot of Pirate fans are frustrated out there, and I'm frustrated because if you haven't heard me say this before, I haven't seen the Pirates win a World Series, so I'm getting a bit impatient for that as well. However, I don't think throwing money just at the team blindly is the answer. I think that I was upset with them in 2020 because when they signed Gerard Dyson to a $1 million contract and he was the highest paid player, I think that was a bit of nonsense. But now they're throwing some money here and there. Santana's worked out. Andrew McCutchen's been working out. If Vince Velasquez stayed healthy, I think he would have had long-term success. And I think it's taxing for the rest of the players on the Pirates right now that some of these guys are hurt and these other guys have to step up, like Mitch Keller's workload. He saved the month of May. So I think that was tough on him to not rely on Velasquez to come through the rotation and give you a quality start all the time. I think it's been tough. Rich Hill is old. That one's not working out too well. And maybe they should have traded him sooner because now he's not pitching very well and he's not as attractive as he was maybe a month or two ago. So I guess I'm preaching patience while also being frustrated, which might seem condescending, but I don't know what to do at this point because I don't want to stop being optimistic. I want to see the Pirates win a lot, and I want to see them have a good team.
What about our bets?
I just don't know what the right answer is. I don't know. They're going to win 84 games this year. It's not looking like it, but it's July, so that's good news. There's 2 more months-ish left in the season, so we'll be fine. I'm sure. Maybe not. Maybe I'll allow a quarter. Either way,
yes.
I don't know how to feel. It's a hard way to feel right now about the Pirates because you want them to do well, but just stepping back and understanding how hard it is to win in Major League Baseball today, it's disappointing. And I don't really know what much better they could do right now. They've just had a couple unfortunate circumstances and a lot of young guys thrown in. There are exciting players on the team that have been called up from AAA now. I would argue a little bit too late, but otherwise, yeah. Smoking Jim just wrote on a paper plate 62 and 100.
It's amazing he could write.
Is that like 62 through 100 or no? That's what is that?
62 wins.
That's what he's.
Is that where your quips land on a 100 top 100 list?
That means it's a bet that he just laid. He's betting $100 to win 62.
Well, that's what he does. No, and Nick, if you remember, I backed Chip last week talking about the Padres spending $348 million, the Yankees after that, and the Mets were third. And like Chip's always said, why would we spend money foolishly? So this is a great day on Pittsburgh Sports Line.
The Yankees are a little different, though.
You're on the
money.
bandwagon with Chip, so I'm leading it up to you.
And you asked a rhetorical question, and I'd like to just impart some of my experience with rooting for the Pittsburgh Pirates over the decades that I have. And
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I think I know what you're going to say.
No, all I'm going to tell you is instead of trying to microanalyze each and every event that happens, sit back and enjoy the ball games that are being played because this is actually a lot of fun watching these young kids come up, make mistakes. Watching Henry Davis struggle in right field it's really kind of refreshing, to be honest with you. I mean, the kid's bat plays. He's going to figure it out. But, I mean, how else is he going to learn how to play right field in the major leagues than to put him out in right field in the major leagues?
You know what? You're not wrong, Chip. I'll tell you what. I went to a game in 2018. I watched the Pirates play the Brewers, and you know what I saw? I saw Josh Harrison and Jordy Mercer's last game. Goodbye to them. They went to free agency. I also saw Travis Shaw hit one into the river. I saw Christian Yelich, the reigning National League MVP, hit a
One of
home
my
run.
favorites.
And I watched 3 guys score on a wild pitch.
Wow.
Great game. You're right. There's a lot to look forward to in
But,
games.
I mean,
You
that
brought
was-
him back, Chip.
That was
that was 5 years ago. And
was
it's a
unique.
completely different team in a completely different circumstance.
the same record, though, Ish. No, they played better in 2018. You're right. You're right.
But, you know, as a season ticket holder for the last 13 years, I enjoy going down and watching the games. I don't get upset. I mean, you know what? Okay, we get tattooed tonight. Tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah,
It's
but
a new
you're saying
game.
Success. He's over 25 years.
No, they had
Okay.
3 years.
So what do you suggest, Jim?
Actually, it's,
I'm just
that's-
saying.
No,
you see success.
No, wait. If you can identify a problem, then you should obviously have a solution for it. So what's your answer?
But you're giving him optimistic. He hasn't seen anything, Chip. You've
That-
seen it.
that was more my point. You're making an
You
interesting
were
point,
born
although
No, he
the day
is.
Mazeroski hit the home run.
this is the first good
5
point
weeks.
you've made in years. This is unbelievable.
Another
I've only been here for
Pittsburgh
2.5
Sports Line first from Smokin' Jim. He's on fire saying nonsense.
I
now.
just want to know what your perspective would be if you didn't see them in their successful years. Because it's difficult.
Well, yeah, and I understand your point of view, and maybe I might not have recognized it, but I do see positive things happening in the rebuild that we are in the midst of right now, and we are in the middle of a journey. We are not anywhere close to the end of it, and I think if you just let it play itself out, you might be pleased.
Okay.
All right, thanks for that, Nick. Great comments. Ralph Williams, I don't know if he's being sarcastic because he can be. The Pirates still have a chance. Chief McElroy, you know, our friend Chip, he said San Diego, Yankees, and Dodgers are playing for profit, or no, are trying to win. Bucks are playing for profit. Don't trade our best pitchers. Okay, Chief. Paul Haley said last Friday they beat Ohtani in a home run derby. Then they got blown out 11-0. Davis had 2 home runs while Hedges is still 177. Go figure. This is the Buccos this year. The first month, I got to disagree with both of you. I enjoyed more games up until they got knocked out of first place in June. They surprised me, but I watched more than I had watched in 3 years. Now I'm doing like every other game, and I've hit a couple good ones with home runs.
Okay, now you've been a Pirates fan as long as I have.
Longer. I'm older.
Marginally. Okay, that all being said,
3 years.
as much baseball as I've ever watched, and I watched the way the Pirates played baseball in the month of April, and it was great. Okay, but anybody that knows anything about the game of baseball knew that the bubble was going to burst.
Hold it,
the
Chip.
people that we rolled out onto the field on a regular basis were not consistent major league performers and never have been, and they had a hot month. And they had a real hot month, and it was a lot of fun. But to think that team could go 6 months and sustain
Oh, no,
and contend was never going to happen.
Hold it, Chip. Anybody that's watched the shows, I always go, it's a 162-game season. You co-sign that all the time, but I said, viewing the games, I don't think they're quitters. I think they're gritty, and they don't have the talent that Smokin' Jim thinks he has about baseball.
Yeah.
They play the game.
The only games I don't watch are the ones that are past my bedtime on the West Coast.
Right, and Ralph has another comment. Next year is the last year of the lease on PNC Park for the Pirates. Radboard not happy with the Pirates. And then Randall Bogart says, Chip is an old school Pirate fan and Pirate management takes advantage of their love. Well, he's being a little realistic tonight there, Randall, so thank you for that. And yeah, here's Chief. Chief's strong on this. He knows all the stats and stuff. He's just great. Him and his dad, Jimmy Mack, may rest in peace. Pay your best players. Everyone knows if Davis, Cruz, and anyone that becomes good will be gone. Love watching the Bucks, but they will never win 44 years.
So all the other 29 teams that trade all their players off when their contracts
Hold
come
it,
up.
you talk to Chief.
Yeah, wait, you know, so we're doing something different than what every other Major League Baseball team's doing? Okay. We just want to make sure.
No, those were his opinions, sir. We respect the opinions.
And that was mine.
Hey, we're trading it back with our people on live streaming, so this is great. I forget what's on my mind, so I'm going to make something up real quick. All right, I follow all kind of sports. That's why we can talk about it. And what's on my mind, we really went far. We're into like 17 minutes to go. So what a discussion we've had today. What's on my mind is Saquon Barkley and Jaylen Brown with the Boston Celtics.
Two different sports.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for noticing that, because to me, all sports are entertainment. They get played more than some entertainers. Yes, sir. Now there's this thing with analytics and everything and money. Football owners learned that running backs are a dime a dozen. They're not Jimmy Brown in the era where run games won championships. Now it's how many points can you score more than the other point other team as soon as you are able. So that's what they do now. So all these running backs that are even like generational players, Saquon Barkley, if he didn't get hurt, he's had 2 great years, and they put the franchise tag on him with $10.1 million. Now they're in a union, and Chip and I have had discussions, and everybody else, that the CBA is a compromise with both parties. If anybody remembers what I said about the last NFL contract, they're one of the dumbest unions in history. Contract negotiating 101. Never accept the first offer. They did because of marijuana, and they had probably only a couple running backs there, so they didn't get anything they wanted. And the franchise,
because they smoked marijuana.
Well, why do you think they wanted the marijuana clause in there?
So they get more money.
So now,
buy more Doritos.
To me, being a union guy for 36 years, and I know they're under 6% of the population, so, you know, just support the strikers at the Post-Gazette. There's still some good people there. But my point is, the running backs have a meeting, and they're acting like they can form a separate union. Guess what they can do? Nothing. They're part of the union, and guess what they did? Their leaders signed a contract, and we still have laws in our country that's a binding agreement until it expires in 2030.
The interesting thing about the union, the last CBA, over 500 players didn't even vote on it.
I know.
And now they're complaining because of the terms of it, but they didn't care enough at the time of the CBA to do anything about it.
You'll get me started about, I call people are lazy in general in the country. I'm not going to point out figures or names or anything, but
just look at them and whistle.
Yeah, there's lazy people, and they're in unions, they're in politics, they're in business, and they forget what's common sense and what you should do. You know what it is? If you're in a union, protect yourself. If you're in a company, protect yourself and treat employees fairly. When those things don't happen, you have a union. So it's your right to have compromise contracts made. They failed to do that. Now they want to change it, and they got 7 more years to go. So, I mean, we can hear you on that, so tone that down.
Well, and then the one last thing
go ahead.
We move on to our next segment, is that there is no collusion with the owners not paying running backs. I mean, it's a philosophy.
It's business.
It's a philosophy that most teams are going to have to do running back by committee, and they realize that running backs aren't worth the second contract.
Well, the only thing I could see the union, the Players Association go to, running backs are almost extinct after their first contract. So in other words, you have no leverage at age 27. So guess what? Let them come in at 20 so they can get a first contract when they're still before 27. That would be a compromise proposal by the union with the running backs agreeing to do it. I mean, that's a potential thing, but here's what I'll say. Why would the owners do it?
They wouldn't, and then all of a sudden next you're going to have the receivers saying, oh, wait a minute, we deserve to be paid more, and you're going to have groups
Well,
of players.
Chip, let me
and
let
you're
me
never
go-
going to get any consensus.
Let me go into why with the running backs trying to create their own union. Say it worked, and they got more money. Guess who it comes off of? Everybody else in the union. And my old saying from being a union guy for so long, tell me when a tail can wag a dog. And I'll leave it on that.
Okay.
All right, let's go to Fiction and Fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac in 10 seconds or so. Good points, Chip.
Hey, Ralph Williams gave you guys a shout out on the radio. Just wanted to say that. But the same
What
old,
station is it on?
Same old Steelers. I'll tell you what.
No,
SOS.
SOS.
I started this a few weeks back when I talked about 1937. The Steelers passed on Slinging Sammy Ball to take Mike Bashrak, a center from Duquesne University.
Who was in charge back then? Art Rooney Sr.
Yep. So the Steelers in 1938 had to make a big splash. Pitt had won back-to-back national championships.
Jock Sutherland.
All the football fans were Pitt fans. So the best player in the country in 1938 was at Colorado, Byron Whizzer White. Best punter, best punt returner, and he played on the national championship basketball
Supreme
team
Court
at
Justice.
Colorado. He finished his senior year. He led the nation in rushing, scoring, punt return leader, and also was named Phi Beta Kappa after finishing first in his class with a 4.0. He came to the Steelers as a rookie. He's still to this day the only rookie to lead the NFL in rushing on the last place team. He retired after his rookie season.
What did he do?
To go on the Rhodes Scholarship to Oxford, England, and then he became a justice for the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And until the end. So they're the same old Steelers. They can't get it right again with Buzzer Whizzer White.
I just say remember the 70s.
Same old Steelers.
Okay.
Remember the 70s. Let's go to Chip's trivia time right now in 10 seconds.
Well, welcome everybody. Two things I want to touch on in Chip's Trivia. Wanted to mark the passing of one of the great Heisman Trophy winners of all time, Connellsville native Johnny Lujack passed away today.
Yeah,
98
legend.
years old.
Wow.
98 years old. God bless him. May he rest in peace.
Yeah.
And this one will be probably be fondly remembered by Al Levine, who would have been 26 days old on July 25th, 1956.
He's correct.
Okay?
He's correct. He knows my
The only
birthday.
time this has ever happened in the history of Major League Baseball.
I know.
Pirates were playing the Cubs. Roberto Clemente hit a walk-off inside the park grand slam home run to win the game.
I
And,
knew.
and after the game
I knew.
was
I
over,
was around.
After the game was over, Clemente ran through the third base coach's
He was stopping
stop
him.
sign. And they went to him, "Why didn't you stop?" He said, "I score, we win." The Pirates beat the Cubs 9-8.
And you know what's so crazy? The only media around was really newspapers.
Mm-hmm.
They hardly even reported it, nor did anybody in our local media. So there were different
But
times.
just to be, it's the only inside
No,
the
I know.
park walk-off grand
I've
slam.
talked about it
There
for
have been
years.
inside the park walk-off home runs.
No, I
Not-
know.
not grand
Well,
slams.
Forbes Field was huge, and I just told this in the last 6 months, a couple people, and they go out, they're sports guys. They go, "Are you sure? I never heard of it." I
Alan-
said, "Look it up."
Alan was waving his green weenie.
Yeah, yeah, in my diaper. Thank you, Chip. All right, let's go to Nick Callis VIP time.
There we go. Hi, here I am. Okay, all right. VIP time. Let's talk about running backs and stuff because I used to play fullback in high school. I kind of understand the importance, and I understand to an extent the gripe that the running backs have. I agree with everything that Al says about unions and contract negotiations. And if they wanted to have it addressed, they should have addressed it at the time. They don't get to just have what they want because they held a revolting meeting. That doesn't happen. However, I will say that I think the value of running backs needs to go up a little bit. They need to be seen a little more in light than not. Just because I've played fullback, and I remember in blowout games when we were running powers, I would have to run to the right when we would do right or left powers, and I would have to block a D end, and that wasn't easy, and it hurt every time. But all I could do, because these guys were strong, you just literally run into them and create that little buffer so that the tailback can get past you and hit the hole. So I get where backs are and where their gripes are. I also can tell you that Najee Harris, I think he's valuable. I think he's very aware. I'm not gonna create too much controversy tonight and sit here and tell you that he's one of the best running backs in the NFL. We're not going there. I'm not making that argument. I don't want to have that argument. What I want to tell you is that he's so aware. I think 2 years has gone by now, and sometimes we forget his rookie year where he was blasting through the offensive line because the line wasn't blocking, and he was getting positive gains. And literally every time he was getting carries, he had to run through linemen, which is not easy.
In the backfield.
Right. So it was rough. And I remember last year there was one play in particular where I think the Steelers were playing the Ravens, and Kenny Pickett got a quarterback draw, and Harris literally picked him up and moved him from the blocked hole to an opening.
I remember that, yeah.
To get him to the first down, and the Steelers ended up coming back and beating the Ravens in that game. So I think that there's a lot of value that you don't see, and I think that I think it's just rough because we all as fans, we're glorifying quarterbacks. I've already given my opinion. I don't think quarterbacks should be paid as much as they are, and there are several quarterbacks right now that are being overpaid, and I think Deshaun Watson is to blame for that. And you know why, if you've seen or if you have a brain, I think you can put it together. Giving him the highest contract was not a good idea because now the rest of the quarterbacks are using that as the ceiling and the basis for what contracts they want. And now running backs are hurting because running backs literally get handed the ball and then it's a chase for them. And they've got to read holes, they've got to run through holes, they've got to run through players at certain points in time. So I think that we should value the running backs more. Now I will say this too. I think that the franchise tag for a running back went from $10.9 million to $10.1 over the last 3 years. That's not a lot. So keeping that in mind too, it hasn't decreased in such a significant way that I think it's unfair. But I think when you're looking at this, and you don't have to fully agree or not with the running backs, but I'll just say, being one myself in high school, again, not professionally, but I know what the job takes. I've been there, and I've observed some good qualities from Najee Harris among some of the other running backs when I've watched NFL games. I think that they're more valuable than many are giving them credit for right now. That's the opinion.
Thank you, Nick.
Great job, Nick. Great job.
And just and to speak that, and I don't disagree with what you're saying, Nick. And the NFL is cyclical in its nature. So we're gravitating towards the importance of a passing game and the quarterback and the wide receivers, but the running game will become back into vogue again, and people are gonna see that it is an important part of playing winning football, and it's just it goes in cycles, and I believe you'll see things change.
All right, thanks. We're going to go to On Location. Johnny's in the control room. He's doing the best he can, and it's live TV, so I can wait patiently. Oh, that's your dad. Don't say that. He's right. Oh, we got Chip again. Oh, okay. On Location, we got nothing happening except Monsville Prison, and we're rooting for Colleen Chaos Davis.
Yes, sir.
So good luck to all them. And we got 2.5 minutes to go. Anything else you guys want to bring up? I'll leave an open floor to anybody. Chip,
something we haven't touched on, and the Penguins. There's still a pending trade on the line, whether or not Carlson, whether or not it would make sense to bring him to the Pittsburgh Penguins. I don't know. I don't know if bringing another offensive-minded defenseman to the Pittsburgh Penguins is the solution to their problem. I think they need more defensive defensemen, but I mean, the guy won the Norris Trophy last year, scored over 100 points. You know, he would probably be a good addition, but then once again, here's somebody getting into their mid-30s that would not be making the team younger.
Well, we have an old team already, one of the oldest in the league. I'm not sure if Nick knows. Are we the oldest team?
The Penguins?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, we got to be close with our core, all 36, 37 years old.
Oh, but that, I'm sorry. I thought you meant-
He's feeling ill today, so
Yes.
he's not 100%.
Yes, we're among-
I hit him
we
on
are-
the 10%.
The average age of a player is the oldest on the Penguins. Than any
I
other team.
thought you knew
There
because
we
you
go.
had
I
mentioned
thought you
it.
meant if the franchise existed the longest. And I was like,
1967.
definitely not. Okay.
They're
Yes, they're among the-
1967.
By
so-
average player age, they are the oldest, yes.
All right, I'm glad we could confirm it. Chip, I'd like to see the deal happen just because they want to try to do something. And we know with Sully, he likes the offensive defensemen. So you would have two of the best in the league. Now, the only caveat is we need a healthy Jari because we can't overcome bad goaltending with just offense.
We can't, you know, with the
But that's why I
contract
wanted
they
to
just
share that.
signed with him, they can't really afford for him not to be.
Well, that's my
Great.
point, yeah.
I mean,
We're
they don't
on
need-
the edge of our
They don't need him to
seats.
be good. They need him to be great.
Well, to have the all-star caliber play that he had couple times, if we have that. So I just wanted to share that. I want to thank everybody for watching. You added a lot of content to us. It's one of the most times with interactions with your others and self. We appreciate it. Thanks to Michael. Thanks to Marco. Thanks to Diane and Diane's brother, Johnny. Thank you, and I hope you had fun. We do this every week. Tell your friends about the live streaming so you can interact with us. On YouTube, you can't make comments. We have it shut down.
No, we can.
Well,
Sportsline
people
went
have tried, and they can't make comments on Pittsburgh Sportsline. So check that out. A couple people told me they couldn't, so I'm just getting Nick aware of it. And I got to end this show. Please stay Joey strong.